What's up, guys? Heretic here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Walking Dead All Out War board game. This is by Mantic Games, and this is the first time I've ever played a game by Mantic, so I'm going to give you my initial thoughts of the game. And hey, I noticed this was my 400th upload, so let me just pat myself on the back. Anyways, let's jump right in. I gotta warn you guys that while we were playing the game, I could just snap a few pics, so we're just gonna have to do it kind of slideshow style. Hope you don't mind. And yeah, so cool. Let's move on. Okay, so here's a shot of the board. Those of you guys who play video games might recognize, yep, this board is a Five Nights at Freddy's themed board. It's really cool. This was basically built by the guy running the game, Wes, good friend of mine, and the miniatures, I don't know if you saw the other video I did, but he basically asked me to paint up a lot of the zombies and stuff, so we got to play with a painted set, so which made the game even a bit more awesome. So anyways, that's the board. Okay, so this is a closer look, and the reason, well, there's two reasons I wanted to kind of show this off. This first one is to show off the awesome interior of the building there. There's just lots of little doors and stuff for your guys to walk in and out. But if you see those little kind of supply crates in the middle, that's basically what we're playing for. Now we played this is basically a versus mode. So Mark got to set up a crew of people, and I got to set up a crew of people. Each character has a numeric point value to them, and we played 125 points. And basically the idea is I guess we're on a supply run, and whoever can get more of those little supply boxes will win the game. Or you could just kill the other crew, which will also win you the game. But the supply boxes aren't just objectives. There's a deck of cards, and when you pull a supply box, you actually get equipment that you can use during the game. So there's kind of a double incentive to pick that up. Okay, so let's talk about how you actually start off the game. So after you purchase your characters and equipment, basically there's a small deployment zone. You're playing on basically a 2x2 board, and then you do this kind of interesting part of the game where both players kind of alternate placing zombies on the board. Now you can't place them too close to any of the characters, but I mean, what that allows you to do is kind of strategically place zombies to screw over your opponent, and of course he's doing the same thing, and that's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting part of the game, and yeah, I kind of like it, 'cause like in the show, I didn't read the comic, but I do watch the show. So in the show, oftentimes they will use the zombies in a way to benefit them. So it kind of, I don't know, for some reason it was kind of reminiscent of that, and I thought it was a pretty cool feature. Okay, so after everything's deployed, you roll for initiative. In this game, it's alternative activation, so you get to activate one character, move them, and perform an action, and then your opponent would get to go. They provide this ruler. You can see that in the picture right there, and there's different kind of speeds. So there's a sneaky speed where if you move that within that distance, nearby zombies won't be attracted to you. But if you run, then you can actually, zombies will actually notice you, and I believe it was the closest zombie will move up to you. And zombies are pretty quick in this game. I think they move like 8 inches. And so if you think about it on a 2x2 board, that is pretty significant. And then actions, of course, are like, you know, you can open, you know, the supplies, in which case you draw a card or something like that. We didn't really, I don't know if there's any more actions. Like I said, this is just my initial impressions. I only played the one demo game, so so really the only action that I, you know, was able to perform during this demo game was to grab supplies. And there you see I picked Abraham in my crew, and there's Rick and Carl. He's on Mark's crew. And what I did was I tried to steal a box of ammo there, and ended up attracting loads of zombies. We're going to go over combat next. So once you're all activated, if you'd move on to the next phase, which would have been the combat phase. Now in the combat phase, pretty simple. You take a look at the stats. You'll have the character card, and it'll say, you know, their melee stat, and it will give you a picture of dice. In here, you use colored dice. It's, if you've ever played Super Dungeon Explorer, it's kind of the same concept. There are varying colors of dice, and some of those dice are better than others. The dice have blank sides to them. So, for instance, the red dice there, you'll see there's two sort of, they don't look like bullet holes, those are wound markers, and an exclamation point, which means if I roll that against the zombie, that zombie would take 2 wounds, and it actually dies, the exclamation point. If you you beat a zombie in combat by the number of wound markers on the dice, but let's say it doesn't have that little exclamation point, that means you didn't get a headshot, so they actually just kind of fall down, and they can actually get up on their next the next kind of zombie turn. Also, another cool aspect of the game is that whole, you know, it's not just one shot, one kill. Zombies are a lot more durable than I thought. But I also picked kind of shitty weapons. I went with all melee, just thinking, well, those don't make a lot of noise, because in this game, noise is a very big deal. So if you shoot a weapon, you know, zombies from all around kind of they get to, I mean, just like in the show and just like in the comic book, they're attracted to sound. So you want to stay as quiet as possible. And the way the zombie combat works is pretty simple. They get 1 red dice. Red dice, I think, is kind of like the medium dice. There's a sucky dice, red dice, and then blue dice has basically no blank side. So blue is probably the best. And I think there's a white dice, which is, I think, I don't know if it's worse. Probably it's worse than red. I think red is, or maybe red is the worst one. I don't know. Wes, you're probably gonna watch this video. You can type it in the comments and correct me. Point is that zombies, right, when they attack, if they attack in groups, you actually double. You double the number. So first, you're fighting one zombie, he's only rolling 1 dice. But then, you know, when I was fighting 2 zombies, they get actually like 3 dice for some reason. And then, you know, no, 2 zombies is like 3 dice, and then 3 zombies is like, you know, 6 dice. It's kind of instantly insane, and things can get really bad when you get ganged up on in this game. Okay, so this is a picture of the, I don't know, threatometer. You can take a look at it. It believes it starts off at all quiet, and it kind of increases from there. So if there's like combat, it's going to move up a level, and you know, if it gets to the skull, it's pretty much game over for everybody. The worst has happened. There's a million zombies, and you all freaking die. Each character, there are different types of characters. So one of the types of characters is called a tactician, who can actually spend an action to kind of lower the current threat level. The way the threat level doesn't just determine, like, can just end the game. At the end of each round, there are you draw a event card. The event card has different events depending on what threat level you're at. Also, the event cards advance the threat level, and so the game increasingly becomes an issue. Like, it escalates pretty quickly. So here you can see my character Abraham being surrounded by zombies. What happened in this shot was basically I had ran Abraham up there and he got a supply. Yeah, it was a hockey stick. Really didn't help him because I had a baseball bat, which pretty much did the same thing. Then Rick and Carl, mosey on up there, and I gotta say a hey Carl joke, because yeah, why not? So hey Carl, what did the network technician say to the doctor? He said, "It hurts when I pee." I pee, Carl. Sorry, I fucked up the delivery of that too. But anyways, so Rick shot me, which attracted all these zombies. The zombies were close to me, so they ran up on Abraham, and Abraham did his best to fend them off, but in the end, he was eaten by zombies. Actually, this game, all of my characters died to zombies. I had picked Abraham, Carol, and I forgot her name. It was Andrea. It was Andrea's sister. They all died to zombies because I think I broke the cardinal rule, which was, don't split up. Also, I kind of picked two characters that were Carol and I believe it was Anna. Her name is support characters. I should have got some kind of bruiser. I should have got one bruiser, one tactician, one support. I think need to balance out the party. But yeah, so I did end up getting more supply boxes because I split them up and tried to move them aggressively, thinking zombies weren't too much of a threat. But once they group up like that, it is game over. So that's most of the game mechanics that I experienced. Now in this shot you can see this weird CD looking thing. That's how you measure threat zone. So there's a hole in the middle and you put it over the model, and so if you're in that little area, then, or if there's a zombie that's within that little area, they'll actually walk up to you and say hi. Okay, so that's kind of a brief summary. What did I think of the game? Let's start off with the models. I went over this in my other video where I actually went over and painted them. They're surprisingly really detailed for what you pay for. Yeah, they're not outstanding or anything like that, but they are pretty good and they're easy to paint up. And this game actually looks really good when everything is painted up. A number of people stopped by the table while we were playing to check it out. So this type of game just kind of draws attention. Naturally, you want to I can't help trying to draw comparisons to a Zombicide, but it's actually very different from Zombicide. First of all, you can play crew versus crew. The combat is simple, but zombies are a real threat in this game. Like, you actually have to respect them. Zombicide, they're a lot easier to kind of kite around, and the AI makes it a little bit less threatening. Now, Zombicide, you can, if you do really dumb things, you die really quickly. Here, the events can really turn the table. So it gives you this thematic thing of, okay, we're going to go on the supply run. For some reason, it got really dark all of a sudden. I don't know, lunar eclipse, and all of a sudden, you know, the zombies get this massive advantage, and things can turn on a dime, which is pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. Combat is pretty easy. It's a lot like STE. Just score more stars than the guys. I do like the fact that, although you can knock the zombies down quite easily, it's very tough to actually kill them. And so again, it just makes that that element, that kind of that fear element, that thing, like, hey, if you see like freaking 3 zombies grouped up, you know, in Zombicide it's no problem. You just, you know, pull out your, you know, dual pistols and unload, and you'll pretty much kill them all. In this game, you really feel like you're playing people that have been stuck in a zombie apocalypse and don't necessarily have all the skills. Now, like I said, I played Abraham, Carol, and Andrea's sister, and just the stat difference, like Abraham was really great. I gave him a baseball bat, and I was rolling like 2 red dice and a white dice, and he was able to knock down zombies with ease. But he really only killed, you know, like 2 zombies in this game. You know, knocking them down, yeah, and kind of, you know, getting rid of that threat. But actually getting rid of them is tough, and I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoy how this game has a natural flow to it. It's very easy. You can pick it up. You can learn it in a couple of minutes. Not a lot to explain. Most of the things are well explained in the card and everything. So it does. The one thing I'll say, it does feel like a very light, simplistic game, but I think that's great, because I think you can play with different people of skill levels, and I am really genuinely interested in owning a copy for myself. It just seems fun. So I'm going to give this game an overall B. I like the look of it. I like the overall flow. Everything makes sense. You don't really get bogged down. For example, like in Zombicide, sometimes just figuring out like when the zombies have to split off or something, there's always some kind of argument there. Do I like it better than Zombicide? The only thing I would say is Zombicide, I like the level up system in Zombicide. You know, as you kill more zombies, you unlock abilities, and you know, and you're downing like that, yeah, sometimes dozens of zombies at one time, and it's satisfying in like an action thriller. This is more like, I'd almost compare it more like to a Last Night on Earth, where it's more narrative. It's more like the supplies, and the supplies actually mean something. In this isn't just, you know, like searching a room like in Zombicide, and you get, hey, there's an Uzi. Like here, it's like, yeah, here's a fire extinguisher. You know, to me, this the narrative side is better than Zombicide, but I'd say Zombicide has that kind of, I don't know, how do I explain it? Zombicide is, if we were to do movies, okay, so this would be like Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead, kind of classic. Zombicide would be like if Robert Rodriguez, you know, he did a zombie flick. It's just millions of guns, and everyone's an expert at firearms. This one's a little bit more realistic, and so I like it. Yeah, I really dig the game, and I hope I can play it again. So I just wanted to send a shout out to my friend Wes, who hosted, and thanks for watching. I know it's kind of long, so I'm rambling. So I might as well just stop the video now. Yeah, I think I should stop. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.